The Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, have left us timeless guidance on how to live a life of virtue, resilience, and inner peace. Central to their teachings is the idea that the people we choose to surround ourselves with can profoundly influence our pursuit of wisdom and tranquility. Just as we strive to cultivate our own character and mindset through Stoicism, we must also be vigilant about the types of people we allow into our lives. In this video, we will delve deeply into 8 types of individuals that Stoicism cautions us against associating with too closely. Each of these types has the potential to derail our progress toward a life of serenity, self-control, and moral excellence. While some may appear harmless or even well-intentioned, their consistent impact on our thoughts and behaviors can accumulate over time, disrupting the inner balance we seek to cultivate. As we explore each type, we will not only describe their characteristics, but also provide practical Stoic strategies for managing our relationships with them. Along the way, we will ask important questions that encourage you to reflect on your own experiences and consider whether you might have encountered these individuals or even unknowingly taken on some of these behaviors yourself. We aim to offer insights that help you stay on the path of Stoicism, reinforcing your commitment to a life of virtue and equanimity. Stay with us until the end of this video, where we will discuss how self-awareness and personal reflection are crucial for not only recognizing these types in others, but also for ensuring that we do not inadvertently embody these traits ourselves. By understanding and applying the wisdom of Stoicism, we can better navigate our social environments and build relationships that support our highest aspirations. 1. The drama magnet, navigating the storm. Imagine for a moment that your life is like a ship sailing through calm and steady waters. You chart your course with intention, navigating toward your goals while adjusting for the occasional gust of wind. But then, out of nowhere, a storm brews on the horizon. This storm is not of your own making. It is brought upon you by the drama magnet. Drama magnets are individuals who seem to live in a perpetual state of crisis. Every day brings a new drama, whether it's conflict with a friend, a workplace dispute, or personal turmoil. Their lives are a series of emotional highs and lows, and like a whirlpool, they have a way of sucking you into their chaotic orbit. At first, you might feel drawn to their energy, mistaking it for passion or excitement. But soon you realize that their drama is like a raging storm, dangerous, exhausting, and never-ending. How does this impact you? As a follower of Stoicism, you understand that peace of mind and inner tranquility are vital to living a virtuous life. However, when you constantly find yourself embroiled in the drama magnet's crises, your emotional equilibrium is thrown off balance. You might even notice that you start feeling anxious or unsettled, as though you are always anticipating the next wave of chaos to come crashing into your life. Consider this. Have you ever found yourself dragged into someone else's conflict, taking sides in a quarrel that had nothing to do with you? Did you start to feel stressed, even though the issue was not your own? Stoicism teaches us to maintain our own calm, regardless of external circumstances. But even the most committed Stoic may find this challenging when constantly surrounded by drama. Stoic strategies for managing drama magnets. So how does one navigate the storm without getting swept away? Here are several Stoic-inspired strategies. Practice selective unavailability. As Seneca wisely advises, life, if well lived, is long enough. Your time is valuable, and it is one of the most precious resources you have. To safeguard your mental space, it is essential to practice selective unavailability. This might mean setting boundaries around your availability for phone calls, social events, or even social media. Let it be known that there are periods during which you are focused solely on your personal development or work. If someone is constantly bombarding you with their crises, do not feel obligated to be perpetually accessible. Reflective listening without engagement. When the drama magnet approaches you with their latest crisis, employ a technique known as reflective listening. Rather than offering advice, which may draw you further into the turmoil, mirror their words back to them. For example, if they say, "I can't believe John said that about me," you could respond with, "It sounds like you feel hurt by John's words." This approach acknowledges their feelings without pulling you into the conflict. Steer conversations towards solutions. If a drama magnet's issue is recurring, try steering the conversation towards constructive solutions rather than allowing it to remain a discussion of grievances. Ask questions like, "What do you think is the best way to resolve this?" Or, "How can you approach this situation differently next time?" This not only keeps you from being dragged into negativity, but may also help the person find more constructive ways to deal with their challenges. When the drama is persistent, choosing to walk away. There may come a point when even these strategies are not enough. If someone consistently brings chaos into your life, despite your best efforts to stay out of it, it may be time to reconsider the relationship. As Epictetus reminds us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Sometimes the most stoic response is to walk away in order to preserve your own tranquility. Have you ever experienced a situation where walking away was the wisest choice? How did it feel to reclaim your time and peace? Reflect on whether there are relationships in your life that might need such a decisive step. Stay tuned as we move from the storm of drama magnets to the bright but deceptive world of toxic positivists. Just as excessive chaos can disrupt your balance, so too can excessive optimism lead you astray. 2. The toxic positivist. When good vibes turn harmful. In Stoicism, we seek to see things clearly, without the distortion of overly positive or negative emotions. Yet, the toxic positivist refuses to acknowledge any shadow in life. They insist that you should just be happy, no matter the circumstances, and dismiss any pain, fear, or sadness as mere negativity. They act as though life is a garden with only flowers and no weeds, insisting that if you focus solely on the roses, everything will be fine. Why is this harmful? While positivity can be beneficial, Stoicism warns against the dangers of ignoring reality. Life is not devoid of hardships, and to pretend otherwise is to deny an essential part of the human experience. Imagine going through a difficult breakup or facing a setback at work, and when you seek solace from a friend, they simply tell you, "Look on the bright side." This response can feel dismissive and even isolating, leaving you struggling with your emotions on your own. Have you ever felt invalidated by someone's excessive positivity? Did it prevent you from confronting and learning from the situation? The Stoics would argue that true strength lies not in ignoring pain, but in facing it with courage and equanimity. Stoic practices to manage toxic positivism. Here's how to respond when the toxic positivist tries to brush away your struggles. Acknowledge the duality of life. Use a balanced approach when discussing your feelings. If someone tells you to just be happy, respond with, "I am grateful for the good things in my life, but I'm also working through this challenge right now." This way, you validate both the positive and the negative, embodying the Stoic belief that life's dualities must be accepted. Develop emotional granularity. Stoicism teaches us to understand our emotions clearly without being overwhelmed by them. This means not labeling a day as simply bad or good, but rather recognizing the specific emotions you are experiencing. For instance, instead of saying, "I feel terrible," you might say, "I feel a bit melancholic due to this situation, but I'm also feeling hopeful about the future." Embrace the concept of amor fati. This Stoic phrase translates to love of fate, meaning an acceptance of all that happens, both good and bad. When the toxic positivist insists that you should just stay positive, remember to embrace your experiences as they come. You do not need to paint everything as wonderful. Rather, accept the entirety of life as part of your journey toward wisdom. Understanding the value of balance. In Stoicism, true happiness is not about relentless positivity, but about finding peace amidst all aspects of life. By allowing yourself to experience and understand your struggles, you grow stronger and more resilient. This is a profound contrast to the superficial happiness that toxic positivists cling to. Can you recall a time when embracing a challenge helped you grow? Did facing the difficulty head-on bring you closer to inner peace? Reflect on how you can apply this approach to future situations. Next, we will discuss those who drain your time and energy. The time vampires. While positivity can be overbearing, constant disruptions can be just as harmful. Let us now explore how Stoicism can help you protect your time and maintain your focus. 3. The time vampire. Guarding your most precious resource. In the teachings of Stoicism, time is regarded as one of our most valuable and irreplaceable resources. Seneca, in his writings, often spoke of the importance of using our time wisely, reminding us that life, if well lived, is long enough. Yet, there are those who seem to have little regard for the sanctity of your time, constantly intruding upon it, draining your energy and focus. These are the time vampires, who consume your precious moments without offering anything meaningful in return. How do time vampires affect you? Time vampires may not always have malicious intentions. They could be a colleague who frequently interrupts you with trivial questions, or a friend who consistently invites you to social events you're not interested in, yet you feel obligated to attend. While these interactions may seem harmless in isolation, the cumulative effect can be quite disruptive, eroding your productivity and undermining your ability to focus on what truly matters. Ask yourself, have you ever noticed how a day full of small interruptions leaves you feeling drained, even if no single interruption seemed significant? Have you found yourself reluctantly agreeing to social obligations, only to later regret the time you could have spent on personal growth or rest? In Stoicism, we are called to prioritize our time, ensuring that our actions align with our values and contribute to our development as virtuous individuals. Allowing time vampires to dictate your schedule is, in a sense, surrendering control over your own life. Stoic strategies to combat time vampires. To guard your time effectively, you need to establish boundaries that protect your most productive hours and give you the space to pursue your goals. Here are some Stoic-inspired strategies to help you manage time vampires. The power of no as a complete sentence. It is often difficult to say no because we fear offending others or appearing unkind. However, the Stoic mindset reminds us that we must place our own values and well-being above the expectations of others. Learning to say no without lengthy explanations or apologies is a powerful way to safeguard your time. When declining an invitation, a simple, "I appreciate the offer but I won't be able to make it," suffices. You do not owe anyone a detailed justification for prioritizing your own time. The Pomodoro technique, structured time management. To protect your focus, consider using the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that involves working in focused intervals, traditionally 25 minutes, followed by a short break. During these intervals, set clear boundaries that you are not to be disturbed. Let your colleagues know that you are in a deep work session and will be available afterward. This approach not only boosts productivity, but also helps train others to respect your working hours. Set expectations for availability. If you frequently deal with colleagues or clients who expect immediate responses, consider setting up specific times during the day when you are available for meetings or questions. Outside of these times, communicate that you are focusing on your work. This practice helps manage others' expectations while allowing you to maintain control over your schedule. The virtue of time management in Stoicism. The Stoics teach us that we should only invest our time in activities that align with our values and contribute to our growth as individuals. Consider this. Are the people you spend time with helping you to live a life of virtue and wisdom, or are they distracting you from it? Reflect on your daily routine. How many of your tasks and interactions genuinely contribute to your well-being, and how many are merely obligations you've taken on out of habit or social pressure? The time vampire might seem benign, but their effect is real. When you learn to recognize and address these disruptions, you will find more time for the pursuits that matter to you, whether it's cultivating a skill, deepening your understanding of Stoic philosophy, or simply experiencing the tranquility of a quiet moment. Have you ever struggled to manage your time effectively? What strategies have you found helpful in protecting your precious hours from being drained away? Share your experiences in the comments. Your insights could help others who are facing similar challenges. Now, having discussed how to protect your time, we turn to another type of person who poses a different challenge: the manipulator. While the time vampire steals your time, the manipulator attempts to steal something even more profound: your free will. 4. The manipulator. Reclaiming control of your script. Imagine your life as a carefully crafted script where you are the protagonist who directs your own story. You set goals, establish principles, and choose how to act according to your values. But then, you encounter a person who tries to subtly rewrite the script without your consent. A manipulator who seeks to bend your actions and decisions to their own benefit. Manipulators can take many forms. Some use flattery, making you feel special or valued, while others resort to guilt or emotional blackmail to coerce you into doing things you wouldn't otherwise choose. Whatever the tactic, their aim is to control the narrative of your life, steering it away from your chosen path and toward their own objectives. The impact of manipulation on your Stoic practice. The teachings of Stoicism emphasize the importance of acting according to one's own principles and reason, rather than being swayed by external pressures. When a manipulator succeeds in influencing your choices, they compromise your ability to live authentically and virtuously. You may find yourself agreeing to tasks you do not value, spending time on pursuits that do not align with your goals, or feeling resentment for being pushed into situations you would rather avoid. Think for a moment. Have you ever agreed to do something, not because you wanted to, but because someone made you feel obligated? Did you later realize that this choice diverted you from your own pursuits or left you feeling used? Manipulation, when not addressed, undermines your autonomy and erodes your inner peace. Stoic strategies for dealing with manipulators. To guard your personal freedom and maintain control over your life, Stoicism provides several strategies for dealing with manipulators. Set firm boundaries and enforce them calmly. When confronted with a manipulator, it is essential to establish clear boundaries. If someone asks you to do something you are uncomfortable with, calmly and assertively say no. You can offer alternatives if appropriate, but do not feel pressured to comply simply to avoid discomfort. For example, if a friend frequently asks you to lend them money, you might say, "I can't lend you money, but I'm here to support you emotionally if you need someone to talk to." This response affirms your boundaries while still offering support. Practice fogging to neutralize manipulation. Fogging is a technique where you agree with any truth in the manipulator's statement, while refusing to be swayed by emotional coercion. If someone says, "You're always so generous, you should help me with this," you could respond with, "I do try to be generous when I can, but this time I need to focus on my own priorities." This approach acknowledges the statement without yielding to the implied pressure. Reflect on your own motivations. Before agreeing to any request, ask yourself whether you are making the choice freely or out of a sense of obligation imposed by someone else. Consider whether the action aligns with your principles and contributes to your goals. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Use this guidance to assess whether your actions are truly your own. Reclaiming your life's script. Remember, you are the author of your own story. The Stoics encourage us to remain steadfast in our values, choosing actions that are consistent with reason and virtue. When dealing with manipulators, it is not enough to recognize their tactics. You must also actively reclaim control of your narrative. Have you ever noticed a pattern of manipulation in your relationships? What steps did you take to regain control? Reflect on these experiences and share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may inspire others to take charge of their own lives. Next, we will move on to discuss the complainer, another type of person whose persistent negativity can drain your energy and disrupt your path toward a Stoic life. While manipulation tries to control your will, complaints aim to cloud your mindset. Let's explore how to maintain your inner tranquility in the face of constant dissatisfaction. 5. The complainer, shielding yourself from the weight of negativity. In Stoicism, much is made of the need to guard our inner peace against disturbances from the outside world. Complaints and grievances are among the most common forms of these disturbances. The complainer is someone who seems to find fault with everything, whether it's the weather, their job, or the minor inconveniences of daily life. While it may seem like a small matter, the constant exposure to such negativity can gradually erode your sense of contentment and calm. The effects of complaining on your mental state. When you spend significant time around a complainer, their negativity can start to seep into your own thoughts. You may find yourself adopting a similar outlook, focusing more on problems than on solutions. This is in direct opposition to the teachings of Stoicism, which encourage us to focus on what is within our control and to let go of what is not. Constant exposure to complaints can act like a leaky faucet, slowly draining your emotional energy. Ask yourself, have you ever noticed that after listening to someone complain for a long time, you begin to feel drained or even disheartened? Did you find it difficult to maintain a positive outlook in the face of their persistent negativity? Stoic techniques for managing complainers. To maintain your tranquility and uphold the principles of Stoicism, employ the following strategies when dealing with complainers. Limit exposure, when possible. If the complainer is someone you can distance yourself from, do so. This could mean spending less time with them or avoiding situations where you know their negativity will dominate the conversation. As Epictetus advises, it is not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. Choose to judge the time spent around negativity as an unnecessary drain on your spirit. Mentally, distance yourself. When distancing yourself physically is not an option, practice mentally detaching from the complainer's words. Imagine their complaints as a passing storm, loud and unpleasant, but ultimately temporary and powerless against your inner calm. Let the words wash over you without absorbing them. Steer conversations towards solutions or neutral topics. If the complainer's grievances are persistent, try guiding the conversation in a more constructive direction. For example, if they are complaining about work, ask, "What do you think could improve the situation?" Or change the subject to a more neutral topic. By doing so, you help shift the focus away from negativity and maintain your own peace. Cultivating your own mindset in the presence of negativity. The Stoic approach is not merely to avoid negative influences, but also to actively cultivate a mindset that remains undisturbed by them. As Marcus Aurelius writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reminder is crucial when dealing with complainers. Their words need not affect your state of mind, unless you allow them to. Have you had success in redirecting conversations or limiting exposure to complainers? What effect did this have on your mood and outlook? Reflect on these moments and consider how you can continue to protect your peace amidst negativity. Now that we have explored how to shield ourselves from the complaints of others, we move on to a different form of negativity, the naysayer. While complainers express dissatisfaction, naysayers cast doubt. Let's uncover how Stoicism can help us deflect the pessimism of those who would undermine our aspirations. 6. The naysayer, deflecting the voice of doubt. Imagine that you are an artist standing in front of a blank canvas with a brush in hand, ready to bring your vision to life. Each brush stroke adds color, depth, and expression to your work. But then, a figure emerges, the naysayer. They question your choice of colors, doubt the worthiness of your subject, and suggest that your effort may be futile. Their words, like dull strokes of gray paint, seek to overshadow your vibrant masterpiece with shades of doubt. The naysayer is not offering constructive criticism. Instead, they embody a persistent aura of negativity, casting doubt on your aspirations. Whether they are undermining your career goals, personal projects, or life decisions, their approach can discourage even the most determined person if not handled with a stoic mindset. The impact of naysayers on your inner tranquility. Stoicism teaches us to guard our inner peace against external disturbances, and doubt is among the most potent forms of such disturbances. When a naysayer casts doubt on your ambitions, their words may initially seem insignificant, but over time, if left unchallenged, their negativity can creep into your own thoughts, causing you to question your resolve and wavering your confidence. Think for a moment. Have you ever shared an idea or a goal with someone only for them to list all the reasons it might fail? Did you feel your enthusiasm dim as their doubts began to echo in your mind? Stoicism reminds us that we have the power to decide which external influences we allow into our inner world. Therefore, it is crucial to recognize the naysayer's influence and actively deflect their pessimism. Stoic strategies for managing naysayers. To protect your aspirations and preserve your inner strength, Stoicism offers several strategies for dealing with naysayers. Seek constructive input rather than passive doubt. When sharing your plans with someone you know to be a naysayer, Change the dynamic by asking for their advice rather than their opinion. For example, if they say, "I don't think you can switch careers at this stage," respond with, "Interesting perspective? What steps do you think someone should take to succeed in making a career change?" By shifting the conversation toward actionable solutions, you can extract any useful insights they may offer, while steering away from vague negativity. Cultivate a strong internal dialogue. Stoicism encourages the development of an inner voice that supports and reinforces your own beliefs and decisions. When faced with naysayers, remind yourself that their doubts reflect their own limitations, not yours. As Marcus Aurelius wisely states, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply this principle by questioning whether the naysayer's words hold any truth or if they are merely expressions of their own fears. Use naysayers as a mirror for self-reflection. Instead of feeling discouraged by a naysayer's doubts, use their feedback as an opportunity for self-reflection. Ask yourself, are there aspects of my plan that need more work? Have I adequately prepared for the potential challenges ahead? If you find areas that can be improved, do so. If not, let the naysayer's words slide off your back, knowing that you have already done your due diligence. Turning doubt into determination. In the realm of Stoicism, the voice of doubt should not be silenced, but rather transformed. By facing the negativity of naysayers head-on and using it as fuel to strengthen your resolve, you can cultivate resilience. Remember, the Stoic approach is not to avoid hardship, but to grow stronger through overcoming it. Have you ever used someone's doubt as motivation to achieve your goals? Did overcoming the skepticism of others make your success more rewarding? Share your experience in the comments below, as your story may inspire others to rise above their own doubts. As we move from the naysayer to the next type, we delve into a different challenge, the victim. While naysayers cast doubt on your goals, victims tend to blame external circumstances for their lack of progress. Let's explore how Stoicism can help us maintain personal responsibility and navigate the mindset of the victim. 7. The victim. Rejecting the blame game. Life can often be likened to a game of chess, where each player starts with the same pieces and must navigate the board according to their own strategy. The outcome depends not solely on external circumstances, but on the decisions and moves made throughout the game. However, there is one type of player who consistently attributes every loss, every setback, to something outside their control: the victim. The victim blames the unfairness of the rules, the skill of the opponent, or even the very design of the game itself for their failures. They view life as something that happens to them, rather than as a series of challenges to engage with and overcome. Although some circumstances may genuinely be outside of one's control, the Stoics teach us that we always have the power to choose our response. By failing to take responsibility, the victim relinquishes this power. The consequences of a victim mentality on your life. Stoicism emphasizes personal responsibility and the cultivation of inner strength. When you adopt a victim mentality, even unknowingly, you surrender your agency and diminish your capacity for growth. This mindset not only hampers your own progress, but can also affect those around you, subtly encouraging others to adopt a similar attitude of helplessness. Reflect for a moment. Have you ever found yourself making excuses for why you could not achieve something? Did you notice a shift in your motivation when you allowed external circumstances to dictate your mindset? In Stoicism, acknowledging what is within your control and what is not is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Stoic strategies to avoid falling into a victim mindset. To maintain a Stoic mindset and avoid falling into the trap of blaming external circumstances, employ the following strategies. Practice self-examination with brutal honesty. When things do not go as planned, resist the urge to blame others or external conditions. Instead, ask yourself, what could I have done differently? Or, how can I improve my response to this situation next time? Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to look inward for faults rather than outward for excuses. By being honest with yourself, you take responsibility and empower yourself to make changes. Embrace the dichotomy of control. Epictetus introduced the concept of the dichotomy of control, which divides all aspects of life into things within our control and things outside of it. Focus your efforts on what you can influence, your actions, thoughts, and attitudes, rather than lamenting what is beyond your reach. When you encounter setbacks, remind yourself that while you cannot control every outcome, you can always choose how to respond. Cultivate an attitude of amor fati, love of fate. Amor fati is the Stoic idea of loving and embracing your fate, regardless of whether it is perceived as good or bad. This means accepting every event, challenge, and obstacle as part of your life's journey. When you embrace each experience with gratitude, even hardships can be seen as opportunities for growth. By shifting your perspective from "why me" to "what can I learn from this?" you adopt a mindset of resilience rather than victimhood. Breaking free from the blame. Game Stoicism encourages us to take full ownership of our lives. This means not only celebrating our achievements, but also accepting our failures without excuse. When you resist the urge to blame and instead focus on taking action, you move closer to the Stoic ideal of living a life of virtue and purpose. Have you ever caught yourself playing the victim in a situation? How did it feel to reclaim responsibility and take control? Reflect on these moments and share your thoughts below. Your reflections could help others recognize and overcome their own tendencies to blame. We now turn from the victim to another type who, while seeming to offer endless encouragement, can actually be just as harmful: the toxic positivist. While victims dwell on the negative, toxic positivists ignore life's challenges altogether. Let's explore how Stoicism can guide us in finding a balanced approach to life's realities. 8. The toxic positivist. Seeing life clearly, not through rose-colored glasses. In Stoicism, we strive for a clear view of reality, embracing both light and shadow, without allowing either to dominate our perspective. The toxic positivist, however, disregards this balance. They insist that happiness is a simple matter of focusing on the positive, dismissing any difficult or unpleasant experience as mere negativity to be avoided at all costs. The toxic positivist's approach is akin to a gardener who insists on admiring only the flowers while ignoring the weeds that threaten to choke the life out of the garden. They suggest that if you just keep your eyes on the roses, everything will be fine. But Stoicism teaches us that in order to live well, we must face all aspects of life, not just the pleasant ones. The problem with excessive positivity. While a positive outlook can be beneficial, Stoicism reminds us that excessive positivity can lead to a disconnection from reality. Imagine facing a significant loss or challenge, only to be met with advice like, "Just stay positive," or "Everything happens for a reason." Such responses can feel dismissive and invalidating, as though your emotions are not worthy of acknowledgement. This can result in you feeling misunderstood or isolated, as if the full range of your human experience is being brushed aside. Have you ever experienced someone dismissing your struggles with overly optimistic platitudes? Did it help you feel better, Or did it prevent you from addressing the root of the issue? Stoicism encourages us to engage with life as it truly is, complex, unpredictable, and sometimes difficult. Stoic practices to balance positivity and realism. Here are some Stoic-inspired approaches for dealing with toxic positivism and fostering a balanced perspective. Embrace emotional granularity. Recognize that emotions are not simply good or bad, but exist on a spectrum. Practice identifying and understanding your emotions with greater specificity. Instead of labeling a situation as good or bad, consider the different feelings it evokes, such as gratitude mixed with sadness or relief tinged with anxiety. This nuanced view allows you to fully experience life without being overwhelmed. Acknowledge both light and shadow. When dealing with a toxic positivist, affirm that it is possible to appreciate the positives in a situation while still addressing its challenges. If they say, "Look on the bright side," respond with, "Yes, I'm grateful for the good things, but I also need to acknowledge what's difficult right now." This approach aligns with the Stoic belief in accepting life's dualities. Apply Stoic premeditation of adversity, premeditatio malorum. Stoicism encourages the practice of visualizing potential difficulties in advance to prepare oneself mentally. This is not pessimism, but rather a way to build resilience and acceptance. When the toxic positivist insists on relentless optimism, remind yourself that true strength lies in being prepared for life's challenges, not in ignoring them. Seeing life as it truly is. The Stoic pursuit of wisdom involves seeing life clearly, without distortion. This means accepting both joy and sorrow as natural elements of existence. By acknowledging the full spectrum of experiences, you cultivate a resilience that is grounded in reality rather than a superficial positivity. Have you ever faced a challenge head-on instead of glossing over it with optimism? Did embracing the difficulty help you grow stronger? Share your reflections in the comments, as your insights could offer valuable guidance to others. As we have explored, Stoicism teaches us not only to manage external influences, but also to be vigilant about our own inner state. The journey toward a life of wisdom and tranquility involves constant self-reflection. Ask yourself, are you embodying any of these traits in your relationships? Do you recognize these behaviors in those around you? By understanding these 8 types of people and learning how to manage or avoid them, you are one step closer to living a life aligned with Stoic virtues. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed on how to live a life of Stoic virtue. May your journey be one of continuous growth, inner peace, and unshakable tranquility.